Well, hey guys, welcome back to From the Porch with Danny Cosby. So glad y'all could join me this week. Took last week off. We were in Cyprus on a mission trip. Had the joy and honor and excitement of being able to lead worship for missionaries all across the world. Every 3 years, I think it is, they send them to a place where they can rest, somewhere central. Cyprus was central to the world. So missionaries from all around the world were there. And it was a time for them to just rest, relax, and be refreshed and recharged. And I was a part of a phenomenal team that was able to be blessed to do music for these men, women, and their children. There are a lot of moving components. People were in charge of helping to care for people's kids. People were in charge of different things, speaking motivation to them, and sermons and teachings were done. But I was a part of the worship, and it was just absolutely blessed. And that's what I want to talk about today. Just kind of a recap of what the Lord showed me through this experience, and just wanted to bring it back and share some of that with you. My wife and I both were just absolutely dramatically changed. I think there's something happened. I don't even know what it is. Even people at her work are saying, "You seem like you're calm and peaceful," and I feel personally just so. My perspective has been shifted in such a major way, and just want to talk to you about a few events that occurred, a few things that happened last week, that are kind of highlight hallmark thoughts in my mind. Where everybody ate, the first thing I want to share with you is where everybody ate was this big dining hall. It was beautiful, a lot of food. They wanted these people to just enjoy eating uh, whatever they wanted to eat, and just to kind of let their hair down. They're out there in the mission field all day, every day. Some of them in parts of the world where Christianity is persecuted unto death. So you have to be very quiet and secretive about what you do and when you do it and where you do it, because you can get killed, and it's real. It's not just some movie story. Oh yeah, yeah, they hate Christians, though they'll kill. These folks literally see it. They get messages from people where hey, where's this guy been? We haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. Oh, his family find out he converted to Christianity, and they send some people out to beat him up. He's in the hospital right now. Real stuff. I mean, that's real. And I heard that from so many people, which made me I'd always heard about it, but to look into somebody's eyes that's a missionary, like from Jordan or Syria, and to hear these stories about people that they have been blessed to somehow bring into a secret church, and because they have to keep it secret, they can't play music and worship out loud like we do here in America. It's very underground, and it's got to be quiet and kept concealed, because if they're found out, people will come in and kill them or arrest them or beat them up. And I've heard, when you hear those stories and you're looking into the eyes of somebody that's living it, it's something happens to you. I mean, it just changed the way I have been seeing things now for 45 years. And but anyway, there's a lot that God worked out into my heart, because I was in this dining hall, and in the dining hall, it's loud. There's a lot of kids running around. There were plates being dropped, silverware being dropped on the floor, people talking and moving and bumping into each other. I mean, it was a lot of people. I know 300 missionaries. And then where we were staying, there were people that were local and also from like Syria and Jordan and Israel that fly to this place and stay where we were at. So we're seeing just a melting pot of people. I mean, tons of people in this cafeteria, if you will, but it was really more like just a huge place where different spots of the place, there was different food. So you're bumping into people, you're trying to watch where you're going, and you're hearing kids, run around and holler at each other. And it was neat, but it was also very chaotic, is a good word. Anyway, one of the missionaries, a guy who is a missionary to the people of Tibet, uh, stopped me mid hallway. He said, "Hey, thank you for the worship. I just wanted to thank y'all for what y'all are singing. It's really blessing us. We don't get to worship like that where we're from, and to have the music there and the freedom to lift our hands in a room, it just means so much." And it was a very basic exchange. I was just being cordial and saying, "Oh, well, God bless you. Hey, it's a blessing thank you, that whole, back and forth, very cordial, normal exchange and conversation. And we shook hands, y'all. And this man kind of pulled me in closer to himself, and he looked at me in my eyes, and it was as if God himself, I don't even know how to explain it other than like God himself looked at me into my soul, and he said these words. He said, "Hey, just let him love you." And man, it's like all the noise in that cafeteria just hushed and got quiet and got silent. And all I could hear was him say that. And it just kind of echoed and reverberated through me. In my eyes, I mean, I could feel my body just kind of, release some tension. And I think up to that point, I had kind of been in performance mode, where I was like, well, I got to be on. I need to minister to these folks. I got to get these songs right. I got to do this. I'm part of this worship team. I need to kind of have a posture of awareness and make people feel comfortable. And it's like this guy just disarmed me in such an amazing way. And he said, "Hey, just let him love you." And man, the whole week I just kept thinking about that, and how I have, in a sense, without him saying it, he called me out on me just performing to get God's approval, performing to get other people's approval. I don't know if you struggle with that, but I do all the time. That is my big battle that I have had for 15 years now, since I got locked up and kind of really made a decision about Jesus to now. And I've really been, as an adult, walking with the Lord. I wrestle with this, resting in the fact that Jesus made an A and I made an F, and Jesus gave me his A and took my F. But I'm always trying to kind of earn his approval or his pat on the back, or some human beings, hey, that was good, like getting my approval from them. And he, without even knowing who I was, it was like he saw that. And he said, "Hey, just let him love you." And it was just absolutely beautiful. It stayed with me that whole evening. And it's like God allowed me to enter into a deeper place with him through that missionary saying that to me. And it was like God moved him out of the way. And he probably says that to people all the time. But it's just testimony of people who are in these situations where you think they'd be exhausted and tired and under persecution. But man, they're right on point and right there with Jesus. And another conversation I had in Cyprus was with a man that's a missionary in Jordan. And he's seen multiplied dozens, now getting into the hundreds, of people who are converting to Christianity. And there it's highly persecuted. And he shared with me one of the stories, and forgive me for being so graphic, but this young man that he's discipling now that converted and proclaimed Jesus as Son of God and Lord of his life. He had a Bible and he put it in his room somewhere. Well, his father found the Bible and confronted him and began to yell at him about, "What is this? Why is this here?" And the young man told his father, I've decided to become a Christian. The father duct taped him to a chair, dragged him out into the street, threw the chair down, and ran over him with his car. Sent him to the hospital. And this missionary is telling me this story, and he told me about two other men who have suffered major persecution, getting pulled into vans out of nowhere and then beat up, thrown out in the street, having to go to the hospital with broken ribs, eye sockets burst open from people hitting them, burn marks from torches, and just torture. I mean, they really take this thing super serious. That they call it, if you get out of line, you're going to be brought back into line, not suggested or asked to be brought back into line. You're going to be brought back into line. And so he was sharing with me that they will hurt them enough to where they survive, so that they can come back about a month later and say, "Okay, it's been about a month. You've had time to heal. Do you want to drop all this Jesus stuff? Are you done now?" And if they say no, and in this young man's case, he said no, he was determined to be on fire for the Lord. And then they will continue either the beatings or torture, or this one guy, he's tried to start businesses to support what he's doing, and they've created a smear campaign on his business to smear his name. And he can't stay in one place more than 6 months, because once they find out where he's at, they'll go and burn the place down to the ground. So it's just this running. And what's really interesting, I'll say this, and I'll be done about that in particular conversation exchange I had with this missionary about these people he's discipling in Jordan. He said that they had raised money. The church, his church, had raised money to help these young men get out of that country, come to America, and to help convert people to Christianity, from their religion. And the guys said this. They said, "No, we don't want to leave." And they said, "Wait a minute. You got people trying to kill you. You don't want, we've found a way for you to leave. I don't know if you heard us correctly." And they said, "We want to stay." So they're staying, and they're moving place to place 6 months at a time, trying to keep from getting killed, dodging their own family members, setting up situations to kill them. And it's just amazing to see how the Lord is moving and using them in these situations. And I'm going to end it there, because I think my phone's about to overheat and I don't want this podcast to end. But pray for these missionaries around the world that are going through dire persecution. And what an honor it was to be a part of that. This has been From the Porch with Danny Cosby. Let's call the sons and daughters of God back home. Let's go to the ends of the world and reach them, because they need the love of Jesus Christ. I love y'all. Thank you. Bye.